Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. And I am so looking forward to this podcast episode. You are joining me for the first ever Boostly Roundtable. And today we are going to be talking all about social media.
This is a freestyle. I'm going off the dome. Ready for my close-up? Good looking. Let me tell you, get more bookings. Oh, that'd be nice. Giving me tips, tools and advice. Yeah, you're gonna get them, hon. You're gonna sit back, listen to Mark Simpson. Whoa, having a blast. Gonna get it on the Boostly podcast. Boostly like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely. If you want my respect, you better put direct. Here are the words in the podcast, that's what comes next.
Okay. Welcome to the Boostly podcast. We are in season 11, episode 1. And as you can see on the screen with me, it's not just going to be me talking in this episode. I have asked and encouraged experts from around the world of hospitality and beyond to come on and help me help you. And what we're going to do is each episode of this series, we're going to focus on a different topic. Today is social media. Now, I put the post out on LinkedIn for people to come and help. And I am so very fortunate that I've got 4 experts that are going to come and are going to help you. Craig, don't laugh. This is something that has never been done before in our industry. The reason why I wanted to do this season and the way I wanted to structure it like this is that I believe that the podcast format is very stale, where it's just one guest, one person talking, pretty much doing the same interview, just a different person week in, week out. But when we get it in a group style like this, the conversation can be going so many different variants. We've got so many different experts. We've got so many different opinions. And so I'm very, very, very excited to have these guests with me. Now, what we're going to do to start with is I'm going to get everybody to give a real quick intro, tell us a little bit about them and what they do and who they help. And then we're going to get into the questions. Now, everybody that's watching with us, and we've got people joining from all over the world, and I can see you all in the comments. So please let me know in the comments where you are in the world, your business, your website, and give yourself a little pitch and a plug, because you never know who's watching. It might be your next guest watching. But what we're going to do while you're doing that, also leave a hashtag live if you're with me. Share this in Facebook groups. Share this on LinkedIn. Share this on Instagram. Tell hosts that we are here to help. We're going to go straight into our first guest, which is Sue. So, Sue, if you could just do me a major favor here. Could you just please give everybody a super quick intro to who you are, where you are in the world, and what you do?
Certainly. I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Sue Thompson, and I run my business called Catch Design Management in Stokesley in North Yorkshire. It's just little me on my own in the agency, but I do mainly social media management for various small businesses, as well as social media training, website design, etc. Very much at this stage, it's supporting local businesses to try and keep them going on their social media through these difficult times. And we're very much looking forward to speaking to you all today.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, moving swiftly on. Becky, if you could just please give yourself a little bit of an intro, give yourself a big up, let us know where you are in the world and who you help, please.
Sure. So I'm Becky and my company is called People by People. I am not into people trafficking, as somebody once genuinely asked me on Facebook. It is because I genuinely believe that phrase and on social media. I specialise in working with hospitality, tourism and events companies, helping them with their social media. And I too am in Yorkshire, but I am in West Yorkshire, so I'm in Leeds. So hi from west to north.
Hi from west to north. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Kim Willis. Please, can you just give a super quick intro, who you are, where you are in the world, and who you help?
Hi everyone, good evening. Hi, I'm Kim Willis. I'm a social media manager in South Devon in the UK. I also run a small agency called Devonly Social. And I have 3 holiday cottages in South Devon. And we're in a very remote spot, so marketing has always been very interesting and getting the right people along. And I also help my clients get more eyes on their YouTube, podcasts, and Instagram channels as well.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Okay, moving swiftly on, Mr. Craig Webb. Craig, could you just please give us a quick intro to who you are, who you help, and where you are in the world, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Craig Webb. My company is Web Marketing. It speaks for itself. Primarily, I'm a hotel and restaurant manager in the Cotswolds. I'm based in Oxfordshire, but when we went into lockdown, I set up my own company, mostly off the back of what I learned from what you taught me, Mark, and putting that into practice, helping customers get direct business and direct bookings, helping with SEO, social media, landing pages, that sort of thing, automating social media, doing whatever I can to help businesses in that way.
Fantastic. So what we're going to do, the way that today is going to work, is I am going to ask our esteemed guests and experts a couple of questions. Now, it's going to be interesting. This is the way a roundtable works, is that we're all going to have a different opinion on what everybody has to say. And what I would love for everybody who is tuning in live with us and on the replay, you can join in as well. Now, the reason why I'm focusing on social media to start with is because it's the out of all the marketing tactics, I love social media the most. I think it is a tool that you can have fantastic reach for free. You don't have to pay any money to do it. Of course, if you want to get a little bit of eyes on what you're doing, putting a little bit of money behind it always helps. But social media is fantastic because there is so many people all over the world that are using this, particularly now. I mean, we are recording this January 2021. For those of you who are watching this in the future, and this is just a distant memory, this is during lockdown 77, I believe it was. This is lockdown number 3. There's been lots of them. And I just want to put this out for the recording as well, for when I am listening back to this in the future. I am actually recording this with COVID. I had a positive test last Friday. I am in isolation, which is why I'm here at home and not at the office. But we are all fine. We are all well. But it is a bit bizarre. So everybody is on social media. Whether we like it or not, we are addicted to these things. And everybody is currently on a social media of choice. You know, when you're watching Netflix, you're not really watching Netflix, you're on your phone. And this is a fantastic opportunity for hospitality owners right now. Even if we can't take leisure guests right now, we can be using these platforms to stay top of mind, which is why I invited these experts to hopefully pass on some tips that you can put into practice right now. And this topic is going to be a chapter in my book that's coming out this year. The Book Direct Playbook is going to be a chapter in my book this year. And what I want to do with every episode in this season, depends on how popular it is, I want to be focusing on a different chapter in each episode. Now, if you want to find out more about the book, just head to boostly.co.uk, boostly.book, and you can find out more about what I'm putting together. So let's start off with our first guest. We'll go back to Sue. Sue, and the question that I would like to ask you, don't laugh, is what has been, and I can see lots of lovely social media on the lovely wall, Cal, you've got behind you. You've got all the channels behind you right there. But what has been your number one social media tool to grow your business, and what has been the one social media of choice that you have recommended to your clients and the people that you have helped over the years, and why?
Good question, or two questions. It's hard for me to pick a favourite for a client, because I think every client has its own agenda, and I think it really depends on where their customers are and who they want to actually push their services to. If I had to pick a favourite that I use, I do love Instagram. It's a slow love that's grown over time, and I think I probably would say I spend most of my time hanging around on that platform. With regards to tools, it's really, again, hard for me to pick one. I think a tool that helps me be more creative, to give me back some of my time to make it as time effective as possible is a really useful tool. So anything that I use that's helps me with maybe a third party scheduler, something like Hootsuite that allows me to plan and get ahead of myself a little bit is a massive tool that I would like to sort of definitely use moving forward. But there's so many fab tools that I've recommended to people, and I always try and recommend ones that have free options, so it's not going to break their budget in any way, but will help them to get some of their time back as well, because often they're running their businesses full time. Social media could be full time if you're really clever about it, so I'll try and give them tools that help them to use their time most effectively.
Okay, love that. We'll definitely dissect in that later on. But Becky, I'm going to move on to you. So again, same question. Your social media. So we've had a little shout for Instagram. What about yourself? What do you love?
Yeah, well, for my business, LinkedIn has been the top of the agenda, especially since the first lockdown. I have to admit that I kind of dabbled in it before that. And then I made a conscious decision to kind of really go for it since the first lockdown and post on it regularly. And I post lots of value on there, lots of opinions, ask lots of questions. And I have genuinely seen the fruition of that probably since about October time, with people coming to me and sort of client business due to that work that I've done. For my clients, I do specialise in B2C, so Facebook and Instagram. And I'm a bit of a Facebook geek, to be honest. I do like both, but I do love Facebook and also the opportunities. I mean, obviously you could do this in Instagram as well, but the opportunities for Facebook ads as well as the organic side of things. So yeah, that will be my answer.
Interesting. And it was LinkedIn is how I discovered yourself with the post, so definitely. So thank you very much for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
Moving on to Kim. So Kim, what again, same question to you, your social media of personal choice and the ones that you recommend and the one that you use most with your clients.
Yeah, so first of all, with my Devon Coastal Cottages hat on for my cottages, the biggest tool that I've used to grow our business has been Facebook. We literally left our agent 5 years. We were with our agent for 5 years, and we left last year just before the global pandemic struck. And luckily, in that time before, I'd been building up the Facebook page. I've utilised the pixel on there. Also been running ads. And I also did a competition to get people to like the post, and a lot of them ended up following us because I invited them to like the page. And Facebook has been the biggest thing for our holiday cottage business. Instagram we use as well, but it's a bit more sort of as a complement, mainly because you can't share as many links, and you can't. You can't, it's not as real time as Facebook, I find that people head to Instagram perhaps in the evening or first thing in the morning, and they'll spend like 10 or 20 minutes there, whereas I think Facebook people dip in and out of all day. And you've also got Messenger that links really nicely into Facebook as well. So setting up the automated messages on the Facebook page has really helped too. So I'd absolutely say Facebook has been number one in building our cottage business and helping us to move independently from an agent as well. I wouldn't want to completely build my business on Facebook's land. So, obviously the email list and, all the other forms of communication are really important too. But yeah, Facebook for me, for my cottage business. For my own social media side of my business, Instagram, it's kind of where everyone is. And it's a lot more for a business platform, I find, for chatting, and also for my other social media clients who happen to be content marketers and estate agents. I've sort of got into property and content marketers, and Instagram is really big for them as well. IGTV, Instagram Reels, it's great for video. So that's Instagram. And then tools that I use, there are so many. The biggest thing that I use is notes on my phone and on my computer, which I love notes. And the other really good thing is a scheduler. I use Content Cal. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's really good for scheduling Twitter posts and LinkedIn. And Planalloy is fantastic for planning out an Instagram grid where you can just really see visually how it's going to look and getting your hashtags in and, really focusing on your brand, Planalloy. And the other thing is an awareness diary for awareness days, so that you can create content around little pig points in your business. So you're always talking about something new and starting conversations. So yeah, those are my tools.
Lots of amazing tools, and I can totally understand why you have got lots of tools and things, because you are very busy with it. I know a lot of people that you help, and you do a fantastic job. And I was just trying to look in this office for the planner that you are talking about, but I couldn't find it. But I
have one on my desk if you'd like me to.
Yes, please do show. We will. Please do show it. Janet Murray. Everybody should know Janet Murray by now.
Yeah.
The 2021 planner. I got one in 2020, and I've got my 2021, and it is phenomenal. And now, normally, we are all very tech-driven. We all like to do things on computers and phones and tablets and all of the things. But one of the big game changers for me was taking it old school and putting it on paper. And I found that when putting it on paper, it really does help. Really with content planning, and we will definitely talk about content planning as we go on. So thank you very much for that. And what I would love everybody to do, live or on the replay, in the comments, if you hear something that one of our experts has said, like Plannerly is one of the ones that just picked up there, and I can see someone in the comments talking about it. Please do go and find it on Google and just pop it in the comments for us so we can all go and find it, because there is going to be lots of tips in this. Now, he's been very, very patient. He's been waiting. Mr. Craig Webb, so same question to you, please. What is your social media choice?
They've all said the good answers. So I'm going to go with, firstly, my phone. An iPhone 10 is just... It's probably a bit of a cheaty answer, but it comes everywhere with me. I can run the business with it. Even in downtime, you're sitting in a car park waiting, or any downtime like that. You can do posts. You can run your business from it. Check your emails. Kim mentioned the notes section. I keep all the hashtags I use for Instagram in there, so I don't have to type them every time. You just copy and paste them. So that's what I use. I also use my G Drive, my Google Drive, quite a bit to plan my social media posts. I actually created a calendar with 365 posts ready to go for this year. So the idea was already there, written out, and then in a month or a week in advance, I can just go in, expand on the post, and then sort of tweak it to the business I'm helping with. So personally, for my business, I think Facebook has been the best because I run a Facebook group in there. So that's really helped me grow my group. But for my clients, I've got two different clients in particular I'm thinking of, and one is a IT recruitment company. So for them, LinkedIn is the best, and their Facebook page does nothing. But LinkedIn gets really good interaction. But I've got another client who's got a food business. And Instagram and Facebook are the best too. And I'm finding more and more, I've always said, oh, Facebook. But now, as I'm used in Creator Studio a little bit more, I'm finding actually that the Instagram posts get many, many more likes than the Facebook posts. But it tends to be the Facebook posts get more comments and that type of interaction. So I'm seeing different results at the moment.
So I'm going to stay with you, Craig, because we did come back to you last, and I want to just ask you something that you picked up on just there, and it's something that I think so many hosts and just business owners in general are starting to realize and play around with, and it's Creator Studio. Now, could you please, for somebody that this is the first time that they've heard of Creator Studio, just give a breakdown of what it is in simple terms and what can they do with it, and definitely reference Instagram for me.
Okay, so Facebook Creator Studio is a place you go. If you've already got a Facebook business page, you will have Facebook Creator Studio. So you just type it into your search bar and it will come up. And you've got two icons at the top, Facebook and Instagram. I tend to then do it so I post an image to Instagram. and I write out my post, put the hashtags in there. You can put in the place, you can tag other businesses, you can alt tag the image in there, and then underneath you can then tick whether you want to post it at the same time to your Facebook page as well. And then you can schedule it to go out at a particular time. So from there, that's mainly what I use it for, is for simple images just to go out on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. And you can also do Instagram lives in there, and reels, and you can see your statistics, you can see how many comments you've had and what your reach is, and it gives you all that information as well.
I love that. Thank you very much. Let me just skip to Sue. Now, you mentioned about using a software like Hootsuite. Now,
Yes.
A question that I have, and I see it and hear it all the time, and you can speak to so many different people and they'll give so many different answers, and I can already see a comment in the live. Is there an argument to say that if you're going to use a third-party scheduler for social media, it will affect the reach that it has on the platform that you are sending it to? What are your thoughts on that?
It's been said, but I've experimented, I've tested, and I genuinely haven't seen that that's been an issue. Genuinely, I've used Creator Studio, and it's a little bit glitchy. I'll be honest with you. I found it. So I found something like Hootsuite. It's just the one I've stuck with. It's a bit like joining a bank. I could go somewhere else, but I just haven't got the energy to move everything. So I'm sort of sticking with the one I started with, but I know there's a lot of other good ones out there. But I genuinely don't think it's had any real impact on a reach. I don't schedule months ahead. I only ever go a week ahead. So it's there to be changed and adapted and improved on if I needed to, if I really thought that there was an issue on that. But I've got between 8 and 10 clients. And I couldn't do it any other way without using a third-party tool for my sanity.
So I think everybody here, what I think definitely the feedback I'm getting is you've got to play around for yourself. Now, if you were to use Creator Studio and you like Creator Studio, and yeah, it is a little glitchy, the beauty of using a Facebook-driven tool to schedule your content is that it's Facebook that you are scheduling it on. You're not using a third party, so you can guarantee that the reach is going to be the same as if you were using it in platform. But the cool thing about it, like Craig mentioned, is that you can schedule on Instagram, which is, again, a massive benefit. Now, we are 20 minutes in, and what I would love for you to do, everybody that is watching live with me, reach your phone and just go and tap one of these emojis as many times as you can. Let's see who can do it in the next minute. The person that will touch that love button emoji the most amount of times in the next minute, I've got a little prize to send to you at home. So go and touch that little love heart emoji button. Tell me how times you've done it and press it in the comment. I've got a little present to send to you at home. And also as well, please can you make sure that you go and follow on social media our experts that have joined us in today. Now we're going to move on to a question, and I'm going to pour a little bit of salt on the proceedings, because as much as I love our experts here, and I love all experts around the world, there are some, and not these people that I've got with me, that do talk and nonsense, what I think is nonsense anyway. But basically what I want to do is I want to uncover some of the things that our esteemed experts have heard in the past, and they've just gone, I don't agree with that. It's because it's really good to have different opinions on different topics. Now, for me, in the past, when somebody would have started to talk about LinkedIn, I would have rolled my eyes. But as I believe it was Kim said, or Becky said, you never build your house on someone else's land. You never focus everything in one platform. And I have made that error personally over the years with Facebook. Now, if anybody has kept up to date with my shenanigans with Facebook and my personal account over the last couple of months, you can see that I've been banned, locked out, can't get back on it in any way, shape or form. Luckily, I put some steps in place to make sure that I could still communicate with clients and whatnot, but I have shifted into being present on LinkedIn a little more. So again, these are things that in the past I would have disagreed with, but now I can totally see the benefit and like I really do get into like LinkedIn at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back to Kim. So Kim, my question to you and my question to everybody is, what is that one thing or bit of advice that you hear getting passed around, not by one person, we're not going to call anybody out, but by general experts that you disagree with, please?
Okay, so for me, it's two things actually in Instagram. One is spammy tagging, people telling people to tag everyone in their posts. I hate that. It's just like completely unnecessary. And when people say, oh, only use like 8 hashtags on your Instagram posts, it's a load of rubbish. I've tested it. The more hashtags you can use that are really relevant to your audience, and the deeper you can go with your hashtag research, the better. The best thing you can do is not use the really popular ones like Motivation Monday or just like a really boring, generic one. If you can actually search for, say, Devon property or Devon holiday cottage, that will get far more views, because that's actually what people are using Instagram for, to search for that one thing. And you'll get a far better reach and engagement on your posts if you do that.
I really 100% agree with the spammy tagging. I see it so much on LinkedIn. And you can unmute your mic, Kim, because I'm going to... sorry, I could see that you unmuted it. I see it so much, and the specific people will write out a post, and then just at the bottom of the post, they'll just tag everybody that they are connected with on LinkedIn. It's something that I never understood, and it is like somebody said, listen, to get total reach on LinkedIn, just go and tag everybody, which again, I'm glad you mentioned that. So thank you. And again, I think keyword research is key, and we will definitely come back to that. Thank you very much. All right, Sue.
All right.
Let's move back to Sue. So what is that one piece of advice that you just get here passed around that you just strongly disagree with?
I would think the one that comes to mind is when people say just post exactly the same content at the same time across every channel, because I don't think that's the correct thing to do. They all have their own audiences, they have their own platform specificities, if you like, and having that kind of overview where you think you're going to hit everyone with one post going out across the board, I don't like. I could go with the same kind of styling, the same kind of idea, but I will adjust what I'm writing for the different platforms and make sure that they go when the audiences are there. The analytics on all of the platforms are there to be used, and you can go on and very easily see when your pages or when your platforms are viewed by your followers. So use that time more sensibly to post your content when you know that your audience is there.
I really like that. Thank you. Okay, moving on to Becky. Same question. And I can see you nodding along with what other people are saying. And so what is something that you do here that you strongly disagree with?
Well, first of all, Sue's stolen one of mine, so I completely agree with Sue. It's a massive bugbear of mine. When I hear people go, oh, just cross-post it from Facebook to Instagram. Like she says, it's completely different markets, completely different times. What really bugs me is when you see about 50 hashtags on a Facebook post and about 10 @ symbols, because people obviously aren't tagged on Facebook as they are on Instagram. And I think it just looks really lazy and unprofessional and lots of other reasons. So I completely agree with that, Sue. The other thing is when I hear people say, oh, if you've not got an image, just use a stock photo. Well, I am so against stock photos. I think if any of my clients are listening tonight, they'll be going, oh, God, here she goes again, jumping on about stock photos. Similar sort of reasons, really, to cross-posting. It looks lazy. Half the time, every man and his dog have used the same sort of stock image. If you're not paying for decent ones, it doesn't look authentic. And in my experience, that definitely doesn't go down as well in the Facebook and Instagram algorithms. Also, people, if you're posting, for example, a picture of somebody's food, like a Sunday lunch, that is what people are going to expect when they come to you. And if it's completely different, they're going to be like, what's this? It's nothing like that. So to me, it's using stock photos. Avoid them like the plague if you can.
I really like that, and there's a lot of people agreeing in the comments that I can see on the channels as well. So lovely, Craig. I didn't mean to come back to you last again, buddy, but it has happened, and I know a lot of people have shared a lot. But the cool thing about this question is that there are a ton of answers, and again, I open it up to everybody that is watching live with us and in the replay. If there's something that you hear being passed from so-called experts around the world and you strongly disagree with, please leave it in the comments, because again, this is a question that has got so many answers. So buddy, over to you.
Well, the one that gets to me is that you need to hustle till your eyeballs bleed. You need to work your fingers to the bone. You need to not sleep until you're a millionaire. And I don't buy it. You just enjoy your life as well. You can't be on it 24/7. Just pick the channels that are right for you, and work with those channels. You don't need to be on every single channel trying to create different content for different audiences. Just work out where your audience is, and create your content to them and speak to them. You don't need to be working so hard that you just get burnt out. So it's more of a wellness and mindfulness answer from me.
Whilst we are in here, we're about halfway through. I do want to give a very quick shout out to our sponsors of this episode, which is Hostfully. So you will have heard me talking about Hostfully a lot over the course of the last 4 seasons now of the Boostly podcast. They have sponsored each of the last episodes of the last couple of seasons, which means a lot. And I wanted to give them a little mention because they have not only one of the leaders in the digital guidebook sphere. So for those of you who haven't got a digital guidebook, please do. It's the most important thing that everybody can do in 2021 and beyond. But they've also got an award-winning PMS. So for those of you that are based in the UK, in Europe, you may not know of Hostfully and relate to them as being a property management software, but they are an award-winning company for that. So please do go check them out, because they do sponsor this show. It means that I can have all of this kit and do all of the things, and just means that I don't have to pass on the charge to everybody that's tuning into here. So go to hostfully.com. You get a free digital guidebook, and if you want to upgrade that to a premium option, just put Boostly2M in the old promo code there, and you get 2 months free. Okay, so we've talked about quite a lot of cool things here. Now what I want to do is I want to get everybody on the screen at the same time. So we've got Becky, we've got Kim, we've got Sue, we've got Craig, all on the screen with us. You can all unmute your microphones, because what I want this to be is a proper roundtable. We have discussed everything so far. We've discussed about this number one social media choice. We've talked about tips and the things that are our bugbears. Now, I'm going to just pick on one person at a time here to answer these questions, and then we can have a general group conversation before we go on to the quick fires. So when it comes to keyword hashtag, and I will come to Kim for a keyword hashtag question, but then others can jump in as well. Now, do you have a specific tactic? Because keywords, we all assume, is just Instagram, or we just assume it's Twitter. But actually now, all of the channels are bringing keywords in to their general sphere. So it is very important. So Kim, we'll start with you. How do you go about doing keyword research? What do you do, and how long do you spend doing it?
Okay, so if I'm doing an Instagram post for a client, for example, and I'm looking for hashtags specifically, I will probably spend about, sounds crazy, 10 to 15 minutes maybe looking at those hashtags for that particular post, because it needs to relate to the image and to the text. You can't just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. If I'm doing some blog writing, then I will go to Google and I will start typing into the search like what to do in Devon with, and then I'll see what comes up, just to see what people are searching for, like teenagers. That's a good one. And the other thing you can do is there's a load of tools that you can use for this. But I'm quite fond of TubeBuddy for looking at keyword research tools. That's really, really, really good. It's especially if you are doing YouTube videos, because you can just look at the keyword research tool and see what's popular, what's not, what's trending, and how likely you are to then trend in your video. So it takes time. You can't rush keyword research. But I think the main thing is to look what everyone else is searching for and to think what your customer is searching for.
So if there are people that are watching this or listening to this and thinking, oh, that sounds like a bit of a chore. The cool thing about this episode is that you've got 4 experts that are looking right at the screen right now that you could reach out to on a one-on-one basis and maybe hire to do some keyword research for and with you. So please do go and follow everybody. The link, the shout out there, because the sound went a little bit muffled, was TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy. A big shout out to Rob Balabassis, who is one of the brand managers at TubeBuddy. I've known him for years, ever since his Thinkific days. So he will be very, very glad of a little shout out there. Thank you, Kim. And what I love about you, Kim, is that you are bringing tools to this conversation. We've got Planoly, we've got TubeBuddy, we've got all of them. So thank you very much. And I can guarantee that people now are doing the Google searches to go and find them. Becky, let's jump very quickly into yourself. So do you adopt a similar style when it comes to keyword research, or have you got another gem that you could potentially throw in there, please?
Yes, although I probably wouldn't spend 15 minutes on every post, so now I feel like I need to. So I'll take my hat off to you, Kim.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. What I do for my clients on a regular basis, though, is I do spend quite a bit of time looking at their competitors and seeing what keywords and hashtags they are using. Obviously, they're not always the right ones, but you can kind of obviously gauge to see what kind of results they are getting. So one of the first things I do when I pick up a new client is do that kind of thing. There's also, as well as the great tools that Kim mentioned, I also use for questions something called Answer the Public. I don't know if you've seen that. But that's a really great tool as well. It will give you lots of different questions that are similar to something that you pop into the search engine. And it's probably a little bit more useful for blogs like Kim has mentioned, but it does also help to see the sort of questions across the internet that are asked about a specific subject. So then you can maybe talk about those things on your social media.
Yeah, I love that you have mentioned that website. I was literally doing a bit of content around content creation, and that was one of the places that I mentioned. So thank you so much for mentioning that. Okay, let's go to Craig. Sue, I'm afraid you're going to be last on this one.
Yeah. So like Kim, I also use TubeBuddy. Even the free version, very good to give you some keywords in there. I also use YouTube, and what I try to do, I put in my phrase, and then I look at what's a similar word that means the same thing. So you use an alternative word that has a similar meaning. So different people might be putting something similar in, and then obviously you're looking at the search results. You're looking at what's coming up in the drop down in the search bar, or completing the search and look what comes up at the very bottom. And there are different searches down there because it says people also search for. And that gives you some good research there. And then also I just look at what other local businesses are using in the area. So I've got clients in areas where I don't live, so I don't perhaps know about the region or about the geography. So I look at what the other businesses are using and what the other businesses are using in that area, and see if they're relevant to the business I'm working for.
Amazing, thank you, buddy. And I like how a few of us now have mentioned about looking at what other people are doing. And particularly when I say look at what other people are doing, success leaves clues. So go and find the people that you can see that are doing so well on maybe Instagram or Facebook. See what posts are relating, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel a lot of the time. What is really important, you don't copy word for word, but you take inspiration from it. And again, success leaves clues. And that is literally what I did at the Granary when we were growing our social media. There's a really cool feature on your Facebook page insights where you can go and follow other pages and you can see which of their posts get the most traction. So you might as well take advantage of these free tools. So you go in, have a look at it, and it gives you a real cool barometer of where you are at. So let's move on to Sue. Sue,
yeah,
what would be your sort of tactic? And again, because you're the last on this, and there's only so much you can do about keyword research, but what would you, let's sort of open up a little bit more, what would you do in sort of research on a whole? Say you've got a new client that comes to you and goes, Sue, we really need a lot of help here. What do you use? I can see you've got Yoast in the background as one of the lovely little things.
Yeah, all my little words.
Yeah, so
a lot of the other tools that the other guys have mentioned, but certainly when I put together a social media strategy for a client, the first thing I do is what I call my competitor analysis, and that is literally, like we've all said, going out and seeing exactly what the client believes are their competitors and how they're managing on social media. As you've said, I think knowledge is power. How can we possibly really counter an argument or counter our campaign against another business if we have no idea how they are actually performing? And it's pulling those strengths, those weaknesses, those opportunities and the threats all together from what you can see that your competitors are putting out there. So that's usually like a big chunk of work that I like to get started with. On the sort of keyword and sort of hashtag research, again, I'd like to say I'd spend 15 minutes every post, but I try and do a lot of that at the beginning as part of the strategy to create what I would call hashtag collections. So it's like a series of maybe 10 to 20 hashtags around certain themes or campaign areas that I want to look at. And then I will search those hashtags and bring those into the collections so that I've got a nice selection of a couple of big ones, a couple of middle ones, but then more specific ones like Kim mentioned that are really going to sort of drill down the detail of where what you want to be found for. Prior to, I think, blame it on the American election, the related hashtags element within Instagram was a great tool, and you could do a lot of that organically. That tool at the moment has been taken away. I understand it's coming back, but I think we'll have to wait a little while. So I've actually gone over to use another tool called Flick, which basically allows me to develop these collections by putting in keywords and then developing 10 to 20, 30 collections of different hashtags around certain themes. And again, those are measured in the hierarchy. So I'm looking at larger ones, smaller ones, and sort of medium-sized ones. So I find that bringing all of that together, bringing all that into the strategy, I've then got, again, a good tool that Craig mentioned, because I've got all of those hashtags in place, putting all of those into my phone, into notes, so I've always got them there. Or I've been able to just pull them from Flick and copy them across into Hootsuite, which is what I would tend to do, and mixing them up. Don't get stale with your hashtags. Don't use the same 30 in the same order, post after post after post. Really try and mix them up and try and bring in, obviously for where I'm based, I always use hashtag Stokesley because that's where I want to be found. So I always make sure that somewhere in that 30, if it's for my business, that one is mentioned and added in there. Just mentioning quickly about, you said about using Facebook. Obviously the Facebook business pages are changing. They've actually given back to us, which is lovely, the dedicated news feed, because it disappeared for a while. It's now come back and it's now been put in a more prominent place. And again, that's a great way of working and seeing what else is going on out there. And also a top tip is to look at the page transparency tab on Facebook business pages, because again, you can go down into that and find out what similar types of businesses are doing on the advertising side, which again will give you information to plan your own campaign.
That is a really good tip, and I'm really glad you mentioned it, because again, so many people don't realize that it's there, but we only see what the business or the wants us to see from the organic newsfeed. For a lot of the time, a lot of businesses are doing what I would call their best work in the paid sphere, and it wouldn't pop up on your newsfeed because you're not being targeted. So again, for inspiration on what to post, on what works, you can definitely go in and you can see what they're doing. And again, it's if you scroll down so if you go down to the Boostly Facebook page and scroll right to the bottom, you will see that there's a page transparency. Click on that. Now you will see no adverts because because Facebook has banned me from doing any adverts for all their wisdom. I swear I am not this naughty. They just do not like me for whatever reason.
I've just been banned too, if that's any consolation.
Well, that's good. We're in good company. But like I said to the Boostly members from the hospitality community for the Boostly Academy, because I was going to put a sizable chunk of my budget to Facebook ads this year, but because Dave just said no, instead what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the money back into them. We're going to do giveaways and goodies, just like we are doing now. So if you can go on your phone, tap the love heart button as much as possible, and then I want you to share this video. So share it in Facebook groups, share it on your personal feed. Just hit the share button. Let me know that you've done it. I will pick one person and I will send you a goodie in the post. So screw you, Facebook. You're not taking my ad money. Instead, I'm going to send it to lovely Team Boostly people with little goodies in the post. Okay, so I'm keeping you all on screen. And what I want to do, because we're nearly 50 minutes in, and I really do appreciate your time, what I would love for everybody to do, and I mean this, please do go and follow all of our experts. And I will make sure that we get the best link for all of you to go at the end when I give everybody a chance to give themselves a little pitch and plug. A question came in the thread, and I think it's a really good question. And it's, I am stuck doing the day-to-day of my business. It's very easy to look from inside the bottle. It's easy to get stuck doing that. They said, do we recommend hiring somebody to do this work for us? My advice is yes, hire, because again, you can really get stuck with assumptions. And you know what they say about assumptions. You can really get in assumptions of what people are looking for to find potentially you. And again, if you can hire somebody who is an expert at this, to do the work for you, that can come at it totally biased, don't know anything about, how soft your pillows are or, how good your cooked breakfast is, but can look at it from a point of what people are looking for and searching for, I think that you will get a massive head start. And again, I think all of you will be pleasantly surprised that it's not costing you an arm or a leg to do this. I think that's the general assumption as well, especially from those who come from Yorkshire. We don't like spending for stuff. So you know what I mean. You got to do that. And again, it took me, mindset wise, son of a Yorkshire farmer, grew up not spending to get around this mindset. But it's one of the best things that I did. So before we finish, I always love to ask quick fire questions, especially when I get guests with us. And these quick fire questions are things that I have just come up with over the course of the last couple of weeks. But I'm going to ask everybody. And what I would love is that if everybody who is watching on the live as well, leave your answers to these, and I would say quite crazy questions, bit weird questions, but let's go with it because for a bit of fun, in the comments. So the first we're going to go to Craig because we've gone to you last for a lot of this, but let's going to go with you first this time. So the first quick fire question, and you can be long in your answer if you like. What have you changed your mind on in the past 5 years? And you do not have to give me a football related answer.
Okay, we're both on the same team with that one. No, a very short answer, and it really from the news recently, it's a very short answer, just the BBC.
Interesting. You caught me, I noticed you said it was a short answer, but you caught me mid-drink, and I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be literally one
I just feel
word.
they're not bipartisan anymore, and changed a little bit for me.
Interesting. All right. So went a little politics there. Okay, Kim, let's move on to you. No, that's all right. Do not apologize. Kim, what is the answer to your question?
So the biggest thing I've changed my mind in the last 5 years is that you don't have to always go with like a big agent. I know this sounds like a bit of a contrived answer considering like we're all in the hospitality industry here, but we went it alone, did our own bookings, and anyone can do it. You've just got to put in the effort, the time, and build up your channels and reach people and talk about what you do. But yeah, the biggest thing is you don't have to always go with what everyone else is doing.
I like that. When everybody zigs, you can zag. Sue, let's come to you next for your answer, please.
Well, I feel a little bit two-faced really, because I would say many years ago, I couldn't get my head around Facebook advertising because I just thought, it's a load of nonsense. But I've subsequently been on courses, had qualifications, trained in it, and I can see how marvellous it is. And it is a fantastic tool to have at my elbow. now they've actually stopped my ad account. I'm a bit like that. But luckily, I've got another two I can rely on. But they are very hit and miss on what they're doing at the moment. And I think once they're back on their even keel, normal service will resume, and I shall be in a more positive frame of mind where it comes to it. But I can really see the value now, and I understand it. It's not the dark art that people think it is. You can get your head around it, you can learn the skills, and it makes a massive difference.
Thank you. Becky?
Mine's a little bit more sort of blasé. Teachers is mine, because having had to homeschool my two kids in the last 3 lockdowns, I completely take my hat off to them. Whereas before, I probably thought, and my sister-in-law was one of them, hopefully she's not watching, that they maybe had a little bit of a jolly over the summer and it wasn't that hard. I have absolutely no idea how they do it. I mean, yes, they get paid for it and they're trained to do it, and they don't have to do a full-time job as well as homeschool. But yeah, teachers is my answer to that one.
Bringing it back to teachers today, I had to watch my Alfie, my 8-year-old, do a Zoom class with his other classmates and teachers. And that just made the respect for Lufia and Andrew go up tenfold, because as much as we think us adults can't use this software, seeing an 8-year-old trying to use it is hilarious. Literally the way he has the camera and the angle that he has his camera, he had his crotch on camera for most of the Zoom chats. So I've got massive respect for teachers, particularly during these times. Okay, let's mix up the question a little bit. And Sue, did I ask you yours, the one that you changed your mind on, or not? I can't. I've literally.
Oh yeah, Facebook advertising.
I did. Sorry, it's the COVID. Next thing. What absurd, and we'll go to Sue next. What absurd, stupid, or fun thing do you do that somebody else looks at you and goes, "What are you doing?" And I will start you all off with mine. I absolutely love those trashy magazines in the supermarkets that you see just as you're checking out. I cannot help it but reading the cover or even the contents, depending on how long you can get away without getting dodgy looks from the shopkeeper. Like, are you going to buy that, mate? So Sue, what would be yours?
Well, I had kind of one firmly in my mind, but it's being quickly usurped by another. But I have to say TikTok, because I don't have any clients on TikTok. I have done 3 TikToks myself, and that's it. But I just like to go on and watch people do all the silly dances, all of the stupid dogs, the cats, all of that. That's my guilty pleasure, where I just go and watch. I have no, any other social media that I go on, I'm thinking about what I'm doing. I'm thinking about clients. On TikTok, I don't care. I just watch it and I enjoy it. And I just love all of that. But recently, I've now joined, just when they brought out another social media, is Clubhouse. And now I spend, I would say, it feels like 23 hours a day listening to Clubhouse whilst I'm pretending I'm working over here. So it's kind of taken over TikTok a little bit, but that's a bit too worky. So it's not so much fun.
I'm really intrigued. Have you done a TikTok dance?
No.
Not yet.
My only TikTok was me with pink hair, because I found that filter, and that's about it, really.
Amazing. I'm going to go and find it. I am going to go and find it. Okay, Becky, same question.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, talking about TikTok. It wasn't a TikTok, but my best performing post on LinkedIn this year was when I shared the family lockdown boogie that my eldest daughter made us do, video dance. And God knows what possessed me to share it, but I thought, oh, sod this for a game of soldiers. So there's a little point for you.
We'll definitely check that out.
But yeah,
you know why it does. Sorry, just to say, but you know why it does is because you are sharing you're sharing your and I've always said this, and this is probably why for 1,000 days I shared our daily vlog of our lives, is that people love to see people enjoying the journey. And when you sort of let the guard down and you do something that you think is absurd and everybody's going to just pass on by, they like it because it's different. When everybody zigs, you zag, and I can totally see why it worked. And I'm 100% going to go and find that. But
I don't care. care anymore. I don't care anymore.
Good.
But for me, my guilty pleasure is I'm a bit of an 80s chick. I listen to Absolute Radio 80s when I'm working. And I have to admit that there are occasions when I've had enough that I might whack it up and have a little bit of a boogie to maybe flash dance or something.
Amazing.
This isn't on TikTok or anything. This is just in private.
Good.
But that would be my guilty sort of secret pleasure, whatever the word is.
Thank you for sharing. And that is a much better way of asking this question. Craig, what is your guilty pleasure?
Well, I have done a TikTok dance only to keep my daughter happy, who's just about 12 years old now. And well done for Sue for being the first to mention Clubhouse. So my absurd guilty pleasure.
Talking of Clubhouse,
really
I
neat.
think that Craig's maybe daughter is on TikTok as we speak. So it just went a little bit glitchy there. So if you could just repeat that, buddy, and don't worry, it's not like this is a live video. It's absolutely fine.
Okay, so I did do a TikTok with my daughter to keep her happy. And then I mentioned Clubhouse, and Sue was the first to mention it today. So I wondered how long that would be to come up in today's conversation. I got my invite yesterday, actually, on that. So my guilty pleasure, sorry, I digress, is decorating. I really enjoy decorating, and particularly getting the lines right at the edge where the wall meets the ceiling or the wall meets the skirting board. What else? My three kids have all played football, and that's the one time a week where I can go out, get some fresh air, and I enjoy being the linesman, and no one else wants to do it, so I enjoy running up and down the line with the flag.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to football, we are both Liverpool football fans, which is apparent. Okay, Kim, same question. Your guilty pleasure, please.
Well, my guilty pleasure is going out to chop firewood. If people like run out of kindling, or it's just a really good way to get rid of stress, and it's quite productive as well, and you get to light a nice fire afterwards as well. So I quite like doing that. And then my other thing that I've just started doing is sea swimming. Started in October, and I've been in up until December, but I haven't had the guts to go in January yet. So I'm still waiting to do a January swim.
Do you follow Jamie Alderton on Instagram?
No, I don't.
You should follow Jay Alderton. I think it's at Jay Alderton on Instagram. He does it every day, and he takes his GoPro and he records himself doing it. He's the person that I thought about when you mentioned that. Okay, we're going to finish on two questions. One of them is, what are you excited about that is coming up? And the second one will be, apart from yourself, do you have a social media account that you like to follow? So I'll let you think about that, because I didn't preempt you in that. Is there anybody that you like your go-to, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, and it can't be yourself, and it can't be one of the experts that are on this panel? You've got to mention somebody that you like to as your go-to. So we'll start with Craig. What are you excited about that is coming up? Now, it could be your own personal, it could be further afield, it could be anything. So is there anything that you're excited about?
Oh, lots of different things. Personally, I'm looking forward to the hotel's reopening. I miss the adrenaline of running the hotel, the pass on a Saturday night, the checks flying in, the printer check going, and I want that to come back. As much as that will take me away from this other job which I'm doing during lockdown, which I hope still carries on. I think that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this year. In terms of perhaps technology, I've seen lockdown has caused technology, I think, to move forward so quickly. It's probably moved forward 5 years in 1 year because of lockdown, because so many people have been at home. I don't think would have had Clubhouse without it. So I'm just interested to see what will happen. And I was in talks with somebody today, actually. We're thinking of creating a room and creating a hospitality group in there, and moving forward with that. So that excites me too. Social media accounts I follow, you've got me there. The first one that actually came to mind, Mark, was you. So I'm sorry,
can't have me.
A lame answer,
You can't have me. You can't have me. But we can come back to you. Kim, Let's go to you. Let's go to you, Kim. And thank you very much, Craig. By the way, that's lovely. So, Kim, who is yours? What are you excited about that is coming up?
I cannot wait to start traveling again. I have a real thing for travel, and this is killing me not being able to just get out of the country, or just go to a town really. We do a lot of sailing as well, so I can't wait to get to Channel Islands and really sort of start doing things like that again. I'm quite excited about Clubhouse. I've been on there a couple of weeks. I think that's going to be a really good platform for people sharing anything really, creating lots of different groups and rooms, and I think it would be brilliant for podcast guests, just if you're like trying to find someone to go on your show, or you're looking for someone to follow. And it's actually at a really good place at the moment where there's still a chance to sort of really meet up with people that you might not have ever had access to. So I think Clubhouse will be really, really exciting for all industries. I think you need to pick and choose your time that you spend there, because I think it's a massive time suck and you could be there for hours. And then what else? What was the other question, Mark?
It was who's your go-to? So when you're on Instagram, for example, or Facebook, is there one account that you just as an instant go-to? And it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a collective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's a couple actually. There's a very good one for social media managers called Work in Social, they said, on Instagram, which is full of memes of people working in social media, which is just hilarious. And if you go and have a look, you'll see what I mean. And then also Jan Murray UK is a fantastic account for getting ideas for everything to do with social media. And her Instagram Reels and TikToks are very good at the moment as well, so they're really worth a watch, especially if you ever struggle with creating content. They're just brilliant. They're really, really fun as well. It's a really good way to learn.
I will second that, and I'm enjoying Janet's Reels, TikToks at the Murray at the moment, and I am going to tag her in so she does see this on the feed. Okay. Sue, moving down to your good self. What is the one thing that you're excited about, and who do you follow?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of getting back to normal, getting back in the office, being able to have my door open and people can actually walk in the office and speak to me. I've spent the last 10 months doing Zoom workshops, which is exhausting. And so I just want to get people back into my little boardroom that I have, and we can have a nice lunch and we can have nice coffee and do all the things that we used to do, which takes away a lot of the pain and agony when they're trying to learn about social media. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to that, and going on holiday somewhere, anywhere, just somewhere sunny would be lovely. Who do I follow? Hundreds of people, but people that stick out to me I'm a member of Digital Women, and that's been a really good support mechanism through lockdown, as well as being just people who are doing the same job as me, who I can actually talk to about various things. It's been nice, and it's a really good networking platform. So anything that Digital Women do, it's a great organisation, and I like to follow them. But for a bit of fun, there's also Social Tea, which I think is a bit like the other account that Kim mentioned, but it's kind of like an anonymous place that social media managers can send in the awful things that they get asked to do at work, and they kind of put them out in quite a humorous way. Something along the lines where the CEO goes, can we completely shift our strategy this afternoon, and can you take everything down that you've just planned? All those kind of funny things that, as a social media manager, if your client turns around and says that, you really feel it, and you know how painful that is. So that's quite a fun account I like to follow as well.
Fantastic. Becky?
What I'm excited about is probably everything that the other three guys have said. Very similar. I'd actually written down just being able to interact properly with people again, whether that be when I'm delivering training and events, visiting hospitality, travel. I miss travel so much. To me, I work for my holidays and my travel. I absolutely love that side of things. And when you're delivering workshops like Sue, I do deliver lots of workshops online. It's never quite the same as having that feedback that you get when you are there in the room in front of people. It's different, and we've had to do it, obviously, and we have pivoted, for want of a better word. In terms of accounts, I'm going to do this slightly differently, and there's a couple of Facebook pages in the hospitality sector that I think do things very well. One of them is a local restaurant to me called Grumpy's in Farsley, and I just love their Facebook page. It's so authentic, it's so people orientated. It's just a small independent business, and they just really get it right as far as I'm concerned. And then especially during the last lockdown, Rockcliffe Hall did some great stuff on their Facebook page as well. So they're kind of like just a couple off the top of my head that I would recommend for people to look at for inspiration. And then there's a controversial guy, I don't know if anybody knows him at all or follows him on LinkedIn, called Chris Williams. If you follow Chris, he's quite fun to follow because he puts out controversial opinions and statements, etc., on his LinkedIn, which a lot of us wouldn't dare to put out there. But it gets amazing engagement and interaction. So if you want to look at a way that other people are doing things completely differently, then give him a follow. And he's probably like Marmite, I would say. You probably either love or hate what he's doing. So yeah, they're my suggestions.
Some good and fantastic recommendations, and thank you everybody for that. Now, really important, this is why we've got you here. How is the best place, talking about social media followers, where is the best place that people can find you? Very, very quickly, Kim, where's the place of choice that you would like anybody to get in contact if they want to find out more about you?
Okay, thanks, Mark. If you head to Instagram, and my Instagram handle is @DevonLeeSocial. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Craig?
Probably in my Facebook group, which is just the Restaurant Industry Network group.
Fantastic.
That's probably the best way.
Becky?
For me, probably on LinkedIn. So Becky Whitaker, and my company is People by People.
And Sue?
Sorry, just Catch Designs across all the platforms, and just on LinkedIn it's Sue Thompson UK, but any of those I'm available to DM on all of them.
Fantastic. And I will be putting all of the links that we have talked about today in the blog post that is going to get created, and you'll be able to find that in the show notes. And we are going to timestamp this live video so you can come back to it at any point and you can skip to the section, because we have been going for over an hour. Now, one takeaway that I have got from the answers just then is that everybody on our expert panel is looking forward to getting away and going for a holiday. Now, these are just the 4 people that we have got on this chat. Try and put yourself into the mindset of the people that are at home, your potential guests, your previous guests. Everybody is gagging and dying to go for a holiday. So that means utilize social media. That means start talking, documenting your business. People buy from people. It's clear that the posts that do the best aren't when you are just talking about how good your beds are or your food that you do or the view that you have. It's documenting your day-to-day, talking about what you're doing. You don't have to do a silly TikTok dance if you don't want to, but the most important thing that you do is you start doing. Don't procrastinate. Don't just wait. Just go and post content out there, document on any of the platforms. Doesn't matter what it is, whichever the one you want to get good at the bestest. And you can start now. You can really start by doing it now. All you need to do is to take a picture of the screen. Take a picture of the screen with all the experts that are here, and I'll get the experts up in a second and you can all do a wave and you can all take a picture of it. Go and share that picture and put it on stories, Instagram stories. Go put it on LinkedIn. Go put it on Facebook. Go put it. Say that you've been watching this video with experts from social media and with over 50 other hospitality owners from all over the world that have tuned in live. And most importantly, what you can do is make sure you tag all of us in it, and in the comments, if you haven't done so already, make sure you leave a link to your website. Make sure you leave a link to your business. Tell everybody where you are in the world, because you never know who's watching this video on the live or on the replay. You may get your next guest watching this. So give yourself a bit of free promotion in the comments below, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are watching this back. Now, this has been episode 1 of season 11 of the Boostly podcast. And if you've enjoyed it, I would love for you to let me know. I crave your feedback on this. If this is something that you want me to do more of, then please let me know. Post it in the comments below. Because what I want to do with this season is I want to cover every chapter that's going to be coming up in the book Direct Playbook. This is my first ever book that I've ever written. It's coming out in November of 2021. This week of recording, I am going through a book writing boot camp, and it's a lot to take on, especially with everything else that's going on, having COVID, homeschooling, looking after the wife who's been in bed the last few days, 3 kids, puppy, and all the other shit that's going on. And to do this, it's a lot of work. So why I look so ridiculously tired, but it has been so effective into me trying to get everything that's up here onto a piece of paper. So social media is going to be a chapter. And the next episode that I want to do is about systems and structure. So we're talking about PMS, property management software, talking about channel managers, talking about pricing and all of those things. So if you would like me to do that episode to give you a bit of help, and again, just to sort of spread the awareness of the book, let me know below. And if you want to come and join the Book Direct Squad, which is our early release, all you need to do is go to boostly.co.uk/book. You get behind the scenes looks to everything. You get exclusive page reads. I am going to do a exclusive Zoom call with everybody that joins before the book gets launched, just to walk you through all the tips. And you will get a release day special price offer, discount, whatever you want to call it. So if you want to come and join the squad and help me write and design this thing, go to boostly.co.uk/book. And if someone could put that in the comments, that'd be massive. But before we go, everybody, I'm going to bring you all back onto the screen. I just want to say thank you so much for doing this, for being episode 1 of season 11. So what we're going to do, we're going to do one big cheesy wave just to say goodbye for the outro to come on in. Please do go and follow all of our experts. All of the links will be on there. They've already told you how they can go and find you. And then, so let's all say bye so everybody can take a picture on the count of 3 big cheesy waves. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you so much. And I shall see you when we see you.